Hello and welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Adam Cellini. Topping our news tonight, first responders often trade their own safety for our own, but one fire rescue district in Manatee County has a new tool to keep their crew members out of possibly dangerous situations. ABC 7's Erica Jackson is here now to show us how this new technology is saving time and money for emergency personnel. Erica.
Adam, thank you. Southern Manatee Fire Rescue is using drones to determine the risk associated with some hazmat situations. The technology replaces the first-in entry teams, helping determine if there are any hazardous materials in the area. Then the teams can go in without putting their crew members in danger.
Anything we can do to help the public, that's why we're here.
Public safety is #1 for Southern Manatee Fire Rescue, but that doesn't mean rescue crews should be put in danger. That's why it's incorporating drones into its response efforts without risking the safety of first responders.
For us to be able to get in within just a few minutes and identify what kind of hazard this is, whether it's something that's going to blow up or whether it's something that's going to poison people, it tells us which direction to take the incident.
It's actually improving life safety for response operations.
Southern Manatee Fire Rescue wants every response to be flawless, so it ran multiple drills on Saturday incorporating drones. During a live response, the cameras can use aerial thermal imaging and zoom to determine the type of hazard, whether nearby areas should evacuate or roads should close, and in some cases, look for victims. Hazardous Materials Team Coordinator Chris Gould says crews successfully used the technology last year during a 5-alarm fire at Callahan Tires.
We were able to use the drone to tell that the plume was heading towards a school. Within just a few minutes, we were able to call the school, tell them to shut all the doors and protect everybody in place.
Gould says the technology can also speed up response efforts by 1 to 2 hours, saving the county time and money for extra labor. Now Southern Manatee Fire Rescue is using the drones to help other fire districts to make sure all first responders can respond as quickly and safely as possible.
Once they start to implement it into their operations, it ends up being so effective that it's just a regular tool in the toolbox they're using weekly.
The new technology is also effective while crews are cleaning up the hazardous materials. They can even use the drones to deliver tools to responders without exposing other team members to chemicals, fire, or any other hazards. Adam.
All right, thank you very much, Erica. Well, a big day for rowing here on the Suncoast as teams hit the water at Nathan Benderson Park for the last day of the Sarasota Invitational Regatta. The regatta attracts more than 1,600 athletes, 75 clubs, and 3,500 spectators from all over the country. We spoke with one racer from Orlando today who told us how she feels about racing right here on the Suncoast.
Competition is strong. There are boats here from, Indianapolis, from all over the country. And then we've got local boats, Jacksonville, Orlando, obviously Sarasota, lots of boats from Sarasota and all around Florida, but all around the country. So, this is like the premier racing site. Everybody gets excited to come here.
On Saturday, juniors raced, and today was all about masters, military vets, and adaptive racers. And now let's head over to Wendy Ross. It appears spring has sprung here on the Suncoast. She's here to tell us if it'll last.
Adam, can you imagine coming here from Michigan, Illinois, Indiana, and you get to come to this area with temperatures in the 80s in February? Oh my goodness, 76 degrees right now. And we have fair skies. We're looking at those winds coming in out of the south-southwest at 8 miles per hour. And it doesn't matter where you go. Temperatures at this hour mostly in the mid to upper 70s. And we do have fair skies out there. It's just gorgeous. All the rain is well to our north. We're seeing the showers across the southeast, over the northern part of the state, but right here across central Florida, the showers have been well inland and really have not been affecting our area all that much. We've seen most of this rain coming about as a result of the sea breezes, and they're all moving on up towards the north. They're really not affecting us at the beach. So if you're planning a beach walk, if you're planning just to get outside and take a walk, do it, because it's a great night tonight. Temperatures are going to continue to be beautiful. We're looking at readings in the low 70s over the next couple of hours, and then just dropping down into the upper 60s for the overnight lows. Oh my gosh, if I were coming here from any place else, I don't think I'd leave. Adam?
All right, thank you very much, Wendy. Well, the pressure is mounting for a Florida sheriff in the spotlight for failures in connection with the Parkland school massacre. While Sheriff Scott Israel is welcoming a state investigation into his office, he says he won't step down. As ABC's Mark Remillard reports, this all comes as calls for more gun safety remain a top national issue.
Alumni of Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School marching Sunday in honor of the 17 victims of this month's school massacre. As the last victim is being laid to rest, Martin Anguiano was 14 years old and a member of the junior ROTC. Sunday afternoon, students and parents returning to the high school for the first time since the shooting for a voluntary orientation before classes resume on Wednesday. At the same time, the Broward County Sheriff is facing increasing pressure to resign over repeated failures to investigate the alleged shooter's troubling warning signs, and the school resource officer taking cover and not confronting the gunman.
Of course I won't resign.
The Speaker of Florida's House of Representatives sending a letter to the governor asking him to suspend the elected sheriff, a Democrat, for incompetence and dereliction of duty. The letter, signed by 73 Republican lawmakers. The National Rifle Association still resisting calls to ban assault rifles or outlawing bump stocks that help semi-automatic weapons mimic automatic weapons.
The NRA doesn't back any ban.
That statement drawing a rebuke from one student survivor.
She is serving the gun manufacturers. She's not serving the people of the NRA, because the people that are joining the NRA, 99.9% of them are amazing people that just want to be safe, responsible gun owners.
Congress likely to pick up the gun debate when it returns from a 10-day recess tomorrow. Mark Remillard, ABC News, New York.
And the Florida Department of Law Enforcement also confirming today that it will begin an immediate investigation of law enforcement's response to that shooting in Parkland. Well, Florida Governor Rick Scott and House and Senate leaders have released proposals in response to that Valentine's Day shooting at Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School. Some of those include raising the minimum age to buy a firearm to 21, spending $500 million on school mental health programs and strengthening school security, and also deputizing teachers who undergo law enforcement training, allowing them to carry a concealed weapon in classrooms.
Now, what's not in these proposals? An outright ban on semi-automatic rifles like the type of the weapon that was used at Marjory Stoneman Douglas. Democrats are insistent that any proposal should include this, but right now Republican leaders are not going along.
The rush to address the Parkland shootings has distracted the one thing legislators are required to do every year, pass a budget. But still, leaders insist they are close to a spending agreement, even if they have to shift some priorities around to pay for that proposed school safety measures. The number of companies cutting business ties with the National Rifle Association continues to grow. Both Delta and United Airlines announcing on Saturday that they will no longer offer flight discounts to NRA members. The carriers joining several companies that are ending ties with the group amid criticism over its refusal to back stronger gun laws following last week's mass shooting down here in Florida. Several rental car companies, including Enterprise, Hertz, and Avis, also say they are ending discount programs with the NRA. Insurance giant MetLife will no longer offer home and auto policy discounts for NRA members. And in a statement, the NRA accused those companies of trying to punish its members as a result of what happened in Florida. And it's not just leaders in Tallahassee discussing school safety changes. This week, the Venice City Council will discuss a proposal to fund additional school resource officers. They want to put a full-time resource officer at Venice High School and Venice Elementary with a floater that could cover both. And on Tuesday, Mayor John Hollick is expected to ask the council to fund those positions immediately, even if it's from reserves, and talk to the county and state later to see if any reimbursement or cost sharing would be possible. The city currently provides 2 Venice police officers for the high school under the annual agreement with the district. Still to come here on ABC 7, religious leaders in our community uniting for a common goal, an opioid symposium geared towards saving lives. Plus, a shooting investigation is underway in Bradenton. We'll tell you more about the quarrel that sent one to the hospital.
Thousands of award-winning Honda SUVs are on sale from $189 a month during the Honda President's Day sales event. You've got to see these SUVs. Get a surprisingly spacious 2018 HR-V, $189 a month, or step up to Pilot for $289 a month with available seating for 8. Plus, we have Motor Trend's SUV of the Year, the 2018 CR-V, and Ridgeline, a Car and Driver's 10 Best. All on sale for up to $3,805, less than the competition, at your local Honda dealer.
What to expect when you're expecting a teenager.
Today we're talking about how to wake up your teen, and this works literally every time.
Give kisses. Give kisses. You heard how loud
I heard. It wasn't you. Yeah. It was the...
Is that bacon?
You don't have to know it all to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
A promise was made. A promise that hit the beaches of Normandy. A vow that captured Iwo Jima. A contract that weathered Tet. A pledge that stormed the desert in Iraq. An IOU that braved IEDs in Kandahar. A promise was made to America's veterans. DAV fights to keep that promise, so all veterans and their families get the benefits and support they earned. For help, visit DAV.org.
I just need a second.
Is your weight holding you back and affecting your health?
Did you see this? Your cousin had a heart attack.
Really?
Excess weight or obesity can be serious, but you can do something about it. Visit yourweightmatters.org. Download the free toolkit to prepare you to speak with a healthcare provider. Your weight does matter. Accept the challenge and take charge today. Visit yourweightmatters.org.
You know, fortunately, this was my first job out of college, so I was able to come back home and work in my hometown. I wore 2 hats. I was sports director and I was a news anchor. I did that for a few years and then decided to go full-time into news. Well, I love our team here at ABC7. We have a great mix, and it really is a great mix of personalities, of experience that meshes really well into a really strong team. I'm Scott Dennis, and I'm here for you.
We're losing exotic animals on a daily basis, and the ones that we have in captivity are really the ambassadors for their wild counterparts. I'm Clayton Rozier from the Big Cat Habitat and Gulf Coast Sanctuary, housing over 150 exotic animals that needed a great home. And if you love animals, please help them. Do it locally. Support your local no-kill shelters, your local wild animal sanctuaries. Make a difference where you can.
The Manatee County Sheriff's Office is asking for your help tonight after an overnight shooting up in Bradenton. Deputies say they were called to the scene at 6th Street Court East around 4:30 this morning, where they found a victim who says he was shot during a confrontation with an unknown man. The victim was taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Anyone with information on this case is asked to contact the Manatee County Crime Stoppers at the number listed on your screen. That number is 866-634-TIPS. It's the #1 cause of death for people under the age of 50. The opioid epidemic hitting hard everywhere, especially right here on the Suncoast. That's why back in September, local religious leaders from multiple faiths participated in an opioid crisis clergy conference. And today they are coming together once again to share what they have learned with the public.
We're losing 15 people a day in Florida. That amounts to almost 4,500 people a year. And that's 10% of how many deaths are in the United States. So Florida is contributing with 10% of the opioid deaths in the United States. And that's not really a good record to have.
Community leaders discussed how to prevent an overdose, what to ask your doctor before taking an opioid, and how to talk to your children about drugs. Religious leaders also opening their doors today in celebration. Temple Emmanuel holding a Purim Pandemonium celebration and carnival. Dozens dressing up in costumes for a parade and reading, followed by a carnival complete with a bounce house dunk tank, as you saw right there, nice shot, and slide. The Jewish holiday is celebrated every spring to commemorate the Jewish people's victory over an evil Persian conqueror. And Wendy, you say you like these outdoor videos right before weather
yes,
here,
because then you can see the sky.
of how it looked a little bit today.
Get to see all that sunshine out there. If
right.
if I were a kid and I heard the word pandemonium associated with an event, wouldn't you get excited?
I'd be there.
Yeah, would you want to be there? I think that's a great idea, don't you? Well, it was a beautiful day, lots and lots of sunshine today, and of course our temperatures were absolutely skyrocketing once again for this time of the year. And look at this. This is a live look as to what's going on out there. You can see how absolutely beautiful it is. There isn't a cloud in the sky. So as we look westward, we're not looking at any rain. We do have a couple of showers along the east coast, and those showers are along the east, and those showers have been developing primarily as a result of sea breezes, and they are well away from the coast. We've also seen a couple of showers over the northern part of the state. Not a whole lot in the way of cloud cover across our area today, and today we got up to a high of 83 with an overnight low of 65. Look where we're supposed to be. Look at the records, and we're not anywhere near that. So what we're looking at is we are going to continue with these beautiful sky conditions for the rest of tonight, fair skies. We have mild weather as well. That's going to continue for another couple of days. And then we get back to normal. And you saw what normal was, 74 for the high, temperatures in the 50s for the lows. And we're going to get back there next weekend. So right now, it's just beautiful. Temperatures in the 70s over here on the coast. And then as you move inland, it's just a little bit warmer, 70s, mid-70s to the 80s at this point. And here's where our cold front is. It starts to break down a little bit as it moves across Texas, Louisiana. And then we've got this high-pressure system, and this has been our fair weather friend. It's been responsible for bringing in those winds out of the south, and that has helped us stay on the warm side, and it's not going anywhere soon. It will start to break down midweek, and we are going to be seeing another frontal system come on through that is going to be affecting us by the end of this upcoming weekend, and that will be bringing us the cooler weather. But in the meantime, this one cold front moves in over the northern part of the state by Monday and Tuesday, bringing some showers and some thunderstorms there. That's where the heavier rain is going to be. We are not going to be seeing any of that across Central and South Florida. So if you have plans here to go to the beach, go. It's going to be beautiful. And we are looking at the wet weather across the southeast, and it continues along the middle Atlantic. We've got some snow and icy conditions right behind that, but we are looking at some beautiful conditions right here along the Sun Coast with a few showers over the central part of the state, and those are going to continue to move on up towards the north. And we're seeing some of them on the moderate side, but nothing heavy, nothing severe. They've been developing as a result of sea breezes, and they're just going to continue to move on towards the north. And we're going to look at the same kind of thing developing. The overnight time period is going to be nice and quiet. The morning hours tomorrow, we are going to be looking at another beautiful start to the day tomorrow, and sort of a repeat of what we saw today. We'll see on Monday and Tuesday. So winds, if you're heading out to the beach, out of the south at 10 knots, seas 1 to 2 feet with a light chop. We've got a temperature reading of 80 degrees tomorrow, sunny and warm. You do need the sunblock. Tonight, we're going to see our temperatures back down around 66. Normally, we're at 55. That doesn't happen tonight. And over the next 7 days, this is what it looks like. 20% chance of rain on Tuesday. Again, mostly interior showers. Then again on Thursday, and you'll notice it's going to be breezy. And that's because we've got the next front coming on in. And look what it delivers. Those showers that we may get will take place during the overnight time period. And then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, normal. This is what normal looks like. 74, 75, 75, and overnight lows in the 50s. If you cannot remember where your sweater is, you have got all of this time to find it. Adam?
Now, sports.
Well, not too much spring training action on the Sun Coast today. Our 3 local stadiums empty as the big league squads hit the road. We start with the Pirates on a beautiful afternoon up in Lakeland, taking on the Tigers. Tyler Glasnow getting the start for the Buccos. He's bouncing back from a tough rookie season last year, but here he gets Miguel Cabrera looking on a strike 3 to end the first inning. Coming up in the second inning, second baseman Kevin Kramer scores the first runs of the game with a 3-run homer to center field. Half an inning later, it's Detroit's Nick Castellanos who hits a solo home run off of Glasnow, who says he isn't concerned about where he'll be fitting in Pittsburgh's rotation later this year.
I don't know. I'm kind of just, it's a little cliche, like take it one step at a time, but I honestly haven't. I'm just coming in trying to prepare, and whatever happens, happens.
The game would end in an 8-8 tie. The Pirates return home to Bradenton tomorrow to take on the Red Sox at 1 p.m. The Orioles nearly shut out on the road against the Red Sox today. Ruben Tejada scoring the lone run for the Orioles in the 5th inning of their game down in Fort Myers. They'll come back home to host the Tigers at Ed Smith Stadium tomorrow afternoon. And the Rays dropped their road game against the Twins by 1 run. Newly acquired first baseman C.J. Cron had a nice day with a double and a home run in 3 at-bats. Blake Snell strikes out 4 batters in 2 innings. And former Braves pitcher Johnny Venners walked 1 and gave up no hits in his first big league inning since 2012 after multiple arm surgeries. And the Twins also won over former Rays first baseman Logan Morrison, who after a breakout season in Tampa Bay last year will be signing a 1-year contract with Minnesota, according to ESPN. Morrison slugged 38 homers and drove in 85 runs, both career highs for the 8th-year first baseman. He joins former Rays teammate Jake Odorizzi, who the Twins acquired last weekend in a trade. A little NBA on ABC action this Sunday. Cavs and Spurs up in Cleveland. The Spurs shooting well today. 7 threes off the bench by the 4th quarter, including that buzzer beater by Bryn Forbes. LeBron James led all scorers tonight with 33 points, including that and-one finish on the fast break. But it was Danny Green who scored double-digit points for the Spurs off the bench, including 6 3-pointers, and San Antonio outshoots the Cavs at home. They win 110-94. More to come here on ABC 7. Stay with us.
Are you a soccer mom or dad? Regardless of their age or experience level, when your kids play soccer or any other sport, there's one person on the sideline who is key to help recognize and seek medical care for sports-related concussion. It's you. You need to know the signs and symptoms of concussion, and you need to act if you think your child has been injured. Remember, when in doubt, sit them out. To learn more, go to cdc.gov/concussion. 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004.
I am the resident district manager on the FAU campus for Chartwell. Whenever I see Haley, I do not see a person with a disability. I see a person with extraordinary abilities. Haley is always smiling. She's always on time. She gives fantastic customer service and is always focused on any job that she's given.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to disabilitieswork.employflorida.com.
I'll be right back.
Every year, 40% of all food in the U.S. never gets eaten.
40%. That's almost half the food we produce.
Food waste is a serious problem. It impacts all of us.
And it's expensive. Your family is throwing $1,500 a year in the trash.
We're working hard to put food waste on the chopping block.
And you can do the same at home.
Learn how to cook it, store it, and share it.
Just don't waste it.
Go to SaveTheFood.com.
One of the motivating factors for me to become a Big Brother was that I was mentored as a youth. And it was important for me to kind of pass forward the things that were kind of given to me. It's really just as simple as getting to know a kid. You don't have to be an athlete. You don't have to be rich. You don't have to have any of those other things. You just have to be willing to spend a little time and help mold some young person's life.
On the next Black Almanac.
The challenge now is trying to help our families feel that their children are safe at our schools. We're dealing with threats, whether it's social media or writing something on a sheet of paper or saying something in jest in the hallway. We can no longer just say, well, that's just kids.
Sunday morning at 7:30 on ABC 7.
Watch Good Morning Suncoast on ABC 7, weekdays starting at 5.
Former star of the reality TV show The Bachelor is now headed for a jury trial. Chris Soules had hoped Iowa's Supreme Court would review the merits of a felony charge that he's facing, leaving the scene of a fatal car crash. But Iowa's High Court denied that request on Friday afternoon, upholding a district court's decision not to dismiss the charges. Last April, authorities say Soules was in his pickup truck when he rear-ended a tractor. The driver of that tractor, Kenneth Mosher, later died. A date for Soules' jury trial is expected to be set next week. If convicted, he could face as many as 5 years in prison. Former First Lady Michelle Obama is working on a memoir. It will be published by Penguin Random House and is scheduled for release on November 13th. The book will be published globally in 24 languages, and an audio version will also be released, voiced by the former First Lady herself. It will be her second book, and former President Barack Obama is also penning a memoir that'll be published by the same company and is expected to come out sometime this year. Robin Thicke is a dad once again. The musician and his model girlfriend April Love Geary welcoming their daughter Mia, who was born on Thursday. He announced the news Saturday on his Instagram account. Mia is Thicke's second child. He also shares a son, Julian, with his ex-wife, Paula Patton. Black Panther is still dominating the box office for its second weekend of wide release. The Disney and Marvel Studios blockbuster raking in an estimated $108 million this weekend. It's the second highest second weekend for a film. Only Star Wars: The Force Awakens made more money during its second weekend of release. Warner Brothers comedy Game Night coming in at a distant second, taking nearly $17 million in ticket sales over its opening weekend. And rounding out the top three is Sony's Peter Rabbit at $12 million. So Disney striking gold a couple of times. Big surprise.
No surprise. I mean, they are just fantastic. And of course, all those Marvel characters are just fun to watch.
Yeah, they are. This one apparently is great. We still have yet to see it, I think, you and I.
I haven't seen it yet, but I want to see it.
By next weekend, maybe.
Yeah, these are the kinds of things.
It's time to take a road trip. Alabama's got 100 road trips, and some of the best are music to your ears, like the Alabama Music Hall of Fame. Or head over to Muscle Shoals and Fame Studios. Are you a star yet?
My mama thinks so.
Or, if that's your stomach I hear grumbling, our barbecue is almost a religious experience. Food good here? Best in the country. Alabama's got 100 road trips. Which one you gonna take?